Take one, y'all. Welcome to the morning tea, y'all. I want to say good morning to y'all. I hope y'all doing well. This your girl, your coach, the social worker coach, Tonetta Clay. I want to welcome y'all to this, like I said, the morning tea, T-E-E, which is the first letter of my name, y'all. But like I said, definitely welcome. This video is all about how you ain't right. I guess I put it that way. I know, especially when it comes to relationships and us wanting to, of course, speak our piece and speak our truth and all those kind of things, which is definitely fine. But we have got to understand that we're not always right. And thank you for tuning in. Is it Alec? Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you're doing well. But like I said, we're not always right. It's always your side, their side, and the truth. And like I said, when it comes to relationships, you've got to understand that the person that you're dealing with have their own worldview too. They have their own values and their own beliefs and their own experiences, their own lessons that they've learned. And that's why they're acting that way or talking that way or telling you what their truth is from how they see things. Like I said, you're not always right about anything. Your partner is also right. Or if you're talking to your child, or if you're talking to, I don't know, your parent, your mom, your job, whoever it is, they're right too. We just have to understand that our view and the way that we see things in life is not always the right thing for everybody else. Everybody else is going to have their own of what's right for them. The first thing I would say is definitely to gain some empathy, I guess. Learn how to empathize with your partner. Learn how to empathize with who you're talking to. Empathizing means to understand their point of view as well, to step into their shoes, to see the context of why they're telling you their truth that doesn't match up with yours. Listen to what they're saying. You have to listen. That's the next thing. You have to listen. Like I said, they'll explain to you and tell you as long as you ask the question why you believe that way or why do you feel that way. Just ask them. And you have to be able to listen to that answer without getting defensive. And all that's not right. That's not how I see it. And that's a bunch of BS and all this type of stuff. You don't know how they feel and how their experiences went, everything in their life. They're going to have a different perspective than you are about I'm pretty sure a lot of things, if not everything. Like I said, that's why I'm saying you're not always right. And like I said, then the last thing you have to be able to, like I said, to adjust to that worldview or to their worldview. I guess I put it that way. You don't have to accept it 100% or that kind of thing at all, but you can still respect it and move forward. There's no reason why you have to put somebody else down or howl and always try to be right and all these kind of things when you know that's going to destroy your relationship. Or maybe you don't know that. But always wanting to be right and always wanting to have the last word and all these kind of things, that's going to end your relationship at some point. If not that day. Nobody's going to keep wanting to hear you always trying to make sure that you're right and your view is the view that everybody in their whole relationship should see. That is not the truth at all. And that's just definitely not right. That's why I said you're not right. So like I said, you definitely have to understand that. Nobody wants to hear you always saying that you're wrong and their worldview is wrong and how they see the world is wrong and how their values and beliefs are wrong and how their context of the situation is wrong and all these kind of things. Folks are going to see things how they see things. And it's not your mission to change that. Your mission is to let them be who they are. And if you don't like how they are, then move on with somebody else. There's an easy answer to that one. You don't have to be with somebody where you don't like their worldviews or you don't like their whatever their right situation was. I guess I put it that way. If you cannot understand that everybody's going to have a different situation, a different life, which is going to give them different experiences, a different perspective on everything that they do or almost everything that they do, then if you don't like that, then maybe relationships aren't for you. Because in all relationships, that's going to happen. Whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your mother, whether it's with your father, whether it's with your siblings, whether it's with your work friends or your job, whether it's with your other friends, whoever is with. Even with your kids, young or old, they're still going to have a way that they view the world that's going to be different from yours. And there is nothing wrong with that. You have got to step outside of yourself, step outside of your ego or whatever it is to understand that. You're not always right with things. I don't care if you are a parent, if this is talking to you. You have to listen to somebody at some point to understand what they're trying to say as well. And just believe if you're in a romantic relationship and you're constantly blowing your partner off and you don't care what they think, but what you think is right, like I said, that's going to end that relationship. The same thing with your kids, with your job, whoever it's with. Nobody wants to constantly hear that you're always right and they're always wrong. Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody's going to have their own experiences, their own thoughts, their own opinions about things too. So like I said, you definitely have to start working with yourself and figuring out why you always want to be right. Do you feel less than? Is it an ego, or what is it? That you can't understand that other folks are going to have different experiences from you and that their point of view is right too. There's no reason why you cannot, you can work to do that, I guess I put it that way, to understand those people. That's only if you want to. We all should want to, but I know everybody's not going to. But you have to understand what those people or whoever you're talking to, your partner, your kids, your family, your job, whoever it is, where they're coming from. There was a story, I don't know the name of the story, but or maybe it was just a made up story, I don't know. But they were talking about how two twin brothers lived in the same household. One had a different view of the household that was positive, and that their mother always helped them, and but their father's still drunk and that kind of thing. But even though that was still the case, that person still learned to do some positive things and grew up to be a good person and all this type of stuff. Then there was the other person, I guess the other sibling in the household. That person took all the negative sides, started, of course, drinking themselves and that kind of thing. Was always having this sob story about nobody ever taught them anything. Their life was trash and all this kind of stuff. They were always picked on or whatever the case may be. You can have different worldviews living in the same household, y'all. And growing up as twins or growing up as brother and sister, we all should see that within our own family as well. If you haven't looked at that, definitely look at your family and see how those dynamics work. If you have siblings, brothers and sisters, look and see how y'all views, I guess, how y'all worldviews are from how you grew up in the household. Whether it's a positive one, a negative one, or your bossy or whatever it is. See how their views are too, and how they grew up in the household and what they envisioned the household to be when you all grew up. I'm sure you all will have different outlooks on the relationship and different outlooks on how the household went. I'm pretty sure that all y'all will, I'm sure. So like I said, it's the same thing when you get into a romantic relationship. You have to understand that your partner is right as well. So like I said, I definitely want to bring y'all this video this morning because I know how important it is to make sure that you understand when you're in a relationship, there is a thing called compromise. Understanding their worldview, of course, you have to compromise to say, I'll accept this thing and go ahead and move forward. I'll still respect this person, even though they feel this way. And if you cannot do that, like I said, find a different relationship where you can do that in. Like I said, nobody wants to be told that they're always wrong and that you're always right and that everything you say is right and whatever they say is trash. Nobody wants to be in a relationship like that. You don't even respect that person. There's no respect there at all. And like I said, if you can't understand that you're not always right at all, find somebody else that you can understand their worldview with. I guess I put it that way. Instead of dragging this person through the mud and constantly traumatizing this other person that you calling trash and they're not right and this is stupid and you don't understand why they feel that way, y'all are dumb, this kind of thing. That relationship is not going to last like that. No person, especially not a man or a woman, wants to be told those kind of things. They want to be looked at as a whole human being, just like you do. They want to be looked at as though their opinions and their worldviews and their rightness is seen with respect. They want to know that when they're talking and that you're actually listening and that you're actually holding space for them to express themselves and be who they are. That's one thing that's very important in all relationships, that you're holding the space and keeping the space open for that person to express themselves. If they cannot do that, they can't even be who they are in that relationship. And that's going to be hard for y'all to, of course, to even try to work together and to connect at all. Like I said, that relationship won't last like that at all. If it does, it's a bunch of hollering, yelling, fighting, people cheating, doing all this kind of craziness when you don't even have to do all that. So like I said, this is your girl, Tonetta Clay, your social worker coach. I do want to let y'all know I put a resource in the description on Facebook. And of course on Instagram is in the bio. There's a link in the bio that's going to take you to a free webinar that I put on this coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock. This webinar is about relationships, of course. It's about how to be the peace you want to see inside your relationship. And of course, you're not always being right is definitely not bringing the peace. If you want to learn more how to, of course, bring that peace and how to set that tone in that relationship, make sure that you're there at that webinar on Wednesday night. It starts at 7 Mountain Standard Time. You can learn more information by clicking that link in the bio, Instagram, and then on Facebook or wherever else you're seeing this, clicking the link in the description of the video. It's free. You don't have to pay anything, but you do have to get a ticket. Get your free ticket. Otherwise, if I only got so many tickets to go around, the webinar won't be more than 100 people. So you have to get registered today if you want to show up and I guess be there to learn how you can start being the peace and setting that tone in that relationship, y'all. And this is for those men and women out there. Both of you all would have to do the same thing in order for y'all to, of course, work anyway. So if you're a couple, make sure that you're there too. If not, one of y'all just be there. It can still work for you too. So like I said, definitely I'll see y'all Wednesday night at the webinar. Take care, y'all. This is your girl, like I said, Tonetta Clay, your social worker coach. And I guess that's it to take one, y'all. Take care. Have a great one.